Good morning. It is Wednesday, February 22nd, and I am in Josh's car, all on my own. I am getting ready. Well, I am not just getting ready. I'm about to leave for Georgia. I'm not driving to Georgia today. I am stopping in Raleigh for lunch and a few visits to some yarn stores, and I'm planning on meeting up with Kemper of Junk Yarn to have lunch, so I'm really excited about that. And yeah, after that I will drive on to South Carolina, where I am staying in a hotel for the night. So I am really excited. It should be a nice day for a drive. I have podcasts and I made a new music mix, but first I have to go to Panera for a breakfast and Starbucks for an enormous coffee. The way I drive due west, and very quickly I'm in the very rural part of Virginia where there are no Starbucks. So I better hit it up while I can. Bye. So I am in traffic. There is traffic on I-95 goes to one lane up ahead. So I promised my eyes, see, I'm not even looking at you. I am looking at the traffic in front of me, and I thought I would record a few minutes because I've been a bad knitting podcaster and I didn't really film much except a few seconds on the road here and there. And my trip has been pretty good so far. I feel good. I'm just kind of ready to be done driving, to be quite honest. I still have an hour and a half to go. Sorry, I'm chewing like this. I forgot how big bubblegum is. I mean, I feel like an old fart saying this, but why is bubblegum so big? I should have chewed a half piece. Also, on road trips, I buy things I would never otherwise buy. I would never buy sugary bubblegum, but here I am chewing. I mean, I love juicy fruit. So, look, it's a bubblegum knitting blog, guys. Good flavor, doesn't last very long. Can you tell I'm a little twitchy from sitting in traffic and being all by myself and just listening to podcasts and stuff all day? I haven't been alone all day though. I stopped near Raleigh, North Carolina, and I had lunch with Kemper of Junk Yarn, both the yarn company and the podcast, and it was lovely. We've met once before at staff, and on a lark I decided to message her and ask if she wanted to get lunch since I was coming through town, and she did. So we met up at Warm and Fuzzy in Cary, North Carolina, which is her local yarn store, and we did a little browsing. She was doing some business stuff there, and I browsed, and of course I found some things to come home with me, which I can't show you because, you know, I really can't be showing off yarn in my podcasting while I'm driving business. But suffice to say, they will come later. It's a really beautiful shop. They carry Quince & Co., Life in the Long Grass, Hedgehog, just a ton, Anzula, just a lot of really nice, smaller lines. It was a really cozy, inviting shop, really lovely. It's a great local yarn store if you're ever in the Raleigh area. So Kemper and I met up, and then she said, "Do you like Mexican food?" And I said, "Is the Pope Catholic?" And we went for Mexican food, and it's kind of like a street food place called Totopos, and it was delicious. And we had queso, and I had chicken tinga tacos that were amazing on blue corn tortillas. So we hung out, we chatted, it was really lovely, and then we went back. I had left my car at the yarn store, and so she drove me back, and I hit the road again, and I hit up Downtown Knits in Apex, North Carolina, which is about 20 minutes away. Really cute little town, just like Cary. Apex is kind of a more traditional, old-timey town, but I really liked it. They carried some Hey Lady Hey, which is exactly what I was looking for, so I bought a skein of that, which again I will show you down the road. And then I hit the road again. So I've been on the road off and on since 7:30 this morning. It is now 4:40 in the afternoon, and I have almost 2 hours left, so I think I will not be there before the sun sets, but that's fine. I have a hotel for the night. And yeah, Well, I'm going to get back to chewing my gum and listening to true crime podcasts because they're keeping me very entertained while I travel. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye! Good morning, guys. It is 6:20 on Thursday morning. I am sitting in my hotel room in Summerville, South Carolina. I'm about 20 minutes north of Charleston. And as you can see, I am completely dressed, makeup on, ready to go at this ungodly hour because this hotel has some thin walls, y'all. The person on the other side of the wall is a very loud snorer. And I kind of hope they heard that. That's a little petty, but I don't care. They started snoring around 9 p.m. I use a white noise app on my phone to like mimic the sound. We sleep with a fan on for white noise at home, so it's kind of like a noise. I could hear him or her over that. And it was just generally a pretty restless night of sleep, even though I was pretty tired. I got like 5 or 6 hours, so I've been up since 4 a.m. I knit for a while and watched Say Yes to the Dress because I don't have cable TV anymore, so it was nice to just kind of knit in bed and watch TV. So I made the best of it, and I'm going to go into Charleston. I had not planned on going into Charleston at all, but this early start to my day means that I have a little bit of extra time. So I'm gonna make the most of it and make the best of it. I think that's what I was just trying to say there. And I'm going to a place called the Hominy Grill for breakfast. It was pretty high on Yelp, which is usually my go-to when I'm traveling somewhere and I don't know where to go eat. I look up what cuisine I want and kind of go by that. And they have a parking lot, which I appreciate because I don't want to deal with having to park in a garage in a city I haven't driven to in like 10 years. And you know, it just feels safer leaving my car in a lot with all of my possessions inside. So I will be meeting my parents in Savannah in about 4 hours, but I just figured I would record for a minute and say hello, and I can show you what I'm knitting. I have knit about this much since the podcast earlier this week, so maybe an inch. And I brought a sock for comparison's sake. I really should just measure how deep it is to start the Fish Lips Kiss Heel, but I usually am lazy and I just bring a sock along. So as you can see, I have maybe 10-15 more rows. And in fact, this pink sock is a little big on me, so maybe I'll be lazy and start it a little sooner. So yeah, I'm still loving these socks. I brought alternating yarn for the Heel Tough & Co. Heel Tough & Co. See, it's too early for me. I don't drink coffee really, but I might have to make an exception and drink some coffee this morning because I'm just not functioning yet, or at least my mouth isn't. I just feel like this yarn cake is getting a little small and I want to maximize this beautiful yarn. So I'm probably going to use alternating or a different color for the heels and cuffs. I'm leaning toward this beautiful yellow because I feel like this picks up some of these gentle yellow shades, and I just think yellow and purple are such a beautiful combination. Alternatively, I have this beautiful gray purple. This is leftover hazelnut sock yarn. I knit a shawl for my sister-in-law out of this. I feel like this kind of brings out these gray tones here. You know, these kind of more traditional eggplant dark purples. I think it'd be a nice contrast for those. And kind of a wild card is this Lydia sock yarn mini that I picked up at SAF this year. It's just this lovely, kind of a dusty pink, and I feel like this could be really nice too. And just bring up some of these little magenta bits. So I haven't really given it too much thought. I don't know what this yellow yarn is, and it's hard to tell, but it really is quite buttery. It looks a little bright in this fluorescent light in this hotel room, but it really is pretty soft and buttery. So honestly, I have a feeling that this will win out just because I'm lazy and it's wound up and I don't want to have to deal with winding this by hand. So stay tuned. She's driving my car for a little bit to give me a break. We are on our way from Savannah to Athens, Georgia. I didn't do a really good job of filming the past few days. In Savannah, we were just having too much fun. But I'm filming now, and that's what counts. And my mom's gonna tell you about a project that she finished on this trip. So I will turn it over to Mom, who's gonna not look at the camera because, you know, safety first.
Occasional glances. I started a little tunic for my granddaughter to be, actually February 16th. It's called Strimma. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. And I'm using Encore worsted in red, gray, and white, little Ohio State colors. I'm making little girl size 4. And I'm really pleased with my progress. When I was driving with my husband a little bit ago, I finished up the sleeves, and I left the other skein of red yarn at home, so I can't finish the hem of the dress, but I've done the 2 increases at the bottom, like in the little skirt part. So anyway, it's going very well. I'm very happy with the way it's turning out.
Funny story about the dress. My mom and dad went to Florida first for a vacation on their own. They were in Tampa, and then they went to St. Augustine. My mom calls me like 2 days into the trip, and she's like, oh my God, Laura, this dress, I'm flying on it. It's going so fast. And I was like, well, what else are you getting it on? And she's like,
zip.
She's like, I didn't bring anything else. And I was like, what? This is
not amateur hour, Mom. She said.
So I was like, well, when's your next yarn store? Like, I was getting twitchy on your behalf. Yeah. I was like, when are you gonna buy some yarn? Where's it gonna be?
Laura was the primary driver for this trip, and she said, oh my God, I have 4 projects with me. Yeah. And if I think about not having something to knit, I get kind of twitchy. And I thought, yeah, that's me.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't even touched like 2 of the things I brought, but that's fine. But it's, you know, like the scout life, be prepared. But
I've since prepared. It's in the other car behind me that's driving not too close behind me, and I've done a little damage in the yarn department.
Oh yeah, we have.
I got some needles. So what I'm planning to do when we leave early tomorrow morning, as long as it's light in the car, I'm going to make a charity hat, probably for the guild the knitting guild that I'm in. So I bought some 16-inch circulars in size 10 because I'm pretty sure I don't have that size at home. I have 10.5, but not 10, which is weird. So I will make a charity hat, and if I finish that, you know, on the way to Beaver Creek, Ohio, I will start a second charity hat. The yarn is candy cane, and I think it's an Encore striping kind of thing.
And my mom had like the biggest stash enhancement, not knitting related, but yesterday at QuiltCon she bought.
Oh, lots of fabric. One booth had yard pieces on sale for $9 a yard because 100% cotton quilting fabric is going for about $12 a yard these days, which is
no, I meant your big purchase because I gotta we gotta finish. I know, but we have to finish recording so I can navigate us because we have a turn coming up.
Oh, okay. I bought a sewing machine. Yay, a brother. SB3129, and I'm so excited.
Yes, so she bought a sewing machine.
A lot of machine quilting.
20 years since she bought a new machine, so she's really excited. Yeah. So, apologies for the camera work because we're in the car. I hope the windows don't, you know, seeing images out the windows don't bug you too much. But we're in very rural Georgia, and we're headed to Athens. So I'm gonna hang up and navigate so I don't get us lost. So that's my mom, Dorothy, and she is. What are you on Ravelry?
Dorothy Claire.
Dorothy Claire.
I thought you were asking me what I was doing behind the wheel. Safety first.
Yes. Now, what's your Ravelry name? Dorothy Claire, and she is Truvy57 on Instagram. I hope you don't mind that I said that. Okay. Yeah, we have lots of quilt photos on our respective Instagram, so I'll talk more about that later. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.